As an entrepreneur yourself and having worked in this space for so long, what do you think is the correlation between the value proposition of a business and its financial success in the cannabis space?
For me, it starts with intention and purpose, understanding what your company is going to be built to do and who you are building a product to delight for. And so for me, I would start with my customer and work my way back to my operations. A lot of times now we see people starting with their operations. I need to build a very large cultivation facility. I need to have a lab and a commercial kitchen that can handle high volume throughput. I need to have 25 dispensaries, 10 dispensaries to control my retail footprint. And in many consumer packaged goods industries, not any one company must own their entire supply chain. And that's very unique in cannabis. And so to spread yourself thin can happen very easily and very quickly, which can then lead to running out of money, can lead to, labor and employment problems. And then it can clearly also lead to product and quality issues. So for me, and in my experience, I look at really lagging the scale to my sales throughput on my product side. And from there, being very focused in what products I'm bringing to market and why. And if I know why I am doing those things, right, and I can answer the what and the who questions behind them in terms of my company, my people, my processes, that then relates into my products, I feel like then I've got a very good actionable position to be successful in cannabis. What I've learned is you have to be comfortable and accepting with unpredictability in this space. At the beginning of this question, you had asked about a few different lessons learned. I was operating in Colorado during a vape crisis that one of my primary product categories came under fire due to illicit and unsafe products that were unregulated and being spread throughout the country, which then ultimately impacted regulated products through approved licensed dispensaries. And on the heels of that, I had a pandemic start to shut things down internationally in terms of supply chains and really make me force to stretch my money. So being comfortable with unpredictability and knowing how you need to adjust and how you need to evolve in order to keep your business solvent and sustainable is very important.
What I'm hearing is that it all starts from your product market fit and from your customer. If we nail that correctly and work it backwards, it's okay to control the value chain. But just coming in with a lot of money and saying, hey, I want to do all that the value chain entails, and I'm going to bring in a lot of big capital into this, that's not a formula for success.
No, I would absolutely plan down to the cent, right? You can't count the millions without counting the pennies. So a lot of times we want to jump from zero to that first million or that million to the 2.5 million run rate. And for me, it's really understanding the product that you're making and the customer that you're intending to buy that product. Now, that happens at the business to business level in the wholesale channel to get your product to a dispensary or a delivery service. And then it happens at the B2C level, okay? And so if we start to understand at the B2C level and the B2B level what the customer is desiring is going to delight them in terms of convenience, in terms of selection, in terms of price, in terms of entertainment, and in terms of education, then I really think that the position of the company and its product portfolio will be in one of success.
I think it boils down from the product market fit to getting your value proposition, making your customer happy, and to be able to keep tinkering onto different markets in a different way. And then as luck may strike, to people who are doing the right things. So if you're trying 3 things at the same time and 3 products at the same time, which are well researched, your probability of succeeding with one of them, because there's so much groundwork and planning that has gone in before you go to market, that your probability of success becomes much harder, simpler, easier.
Yeah. Well, and in the short of it, an opportunity cost is cheaper than a real cost. And so to investigate a new methodology to cultivate, to take a small sample size, to refine and improve and capitalize on an anchor element that your business does well because you hired the right talent or you sourced the right genetic or you built the right cultivation or extraction environment is very important because now now you can leverage true existing value to future revenues without taking on a big capital investment or deployment of money. And that, again, keeps you nimble and actionable as a business. And that allows you then to start to understand what it is to tweak your light spectrum, what it does to perhaps modify or re-engineer your substrate in terms of your crop steering and your intentional cultivation plans. What that means then for an extraction side of things, knowing that that biomass from the cultivation center goes directly over to our extraction labs. And then from there, understanding consumer data and purchasing trends in terms of basket size, composition, and overall ticket. So it all correlates to each other, and knowing where you stand within that entire industry is going to be very important, because knowing your identity impacts your image, which ultimately leads to your market reputation.
Thank you for answering that. And that defines it very pristine, clearly as to how entrepreneurs should get their product fits correctly and tinker with the market. Having just a lot of money does not mean success.
For me, I think it's about the person who's accepting the money and their prioritization and their discipline in spending the money. Having a lot of money is not going to correlate to success. I've worked with and have seen many businesses raise quite a bit of money and clearly fail. We can read them through the media. We might know them as being industry players ourselves outside of this conversation. So it's really about the responsibility and the accuracy of the spend. When you have a lot of money brought to the table, a lot of times short-term solutions are brought to long-term problems, and money is spent at a very rapid rate. And before you know it, show up to your next quarterly review meeting, you go and check your budget, and the money that was once there that you had for a rainy day, that rainy day has come, it is pouring, and the jar is empty. So what really is important is understanding why you're taking in the money that you are taking in, how you are going to specifically spend it, and when you are going to be spending it, and holding true to those business rules that you have set for yourself on taking on capital, debt, equity financing, whatever it may be. Having a bootstrap mentality can serve you very well as an owner-operator. So having the money does not necessarily put you in a position of success. Not having the money clearly doesn't put you in a position of success. So you really have to straddle that middle of being a bootstrap mentality and spending that money wisely, and hopefully getting the best return on every dollar you spend.
Great advice for our viewers here. And how I can really distill this down is responsibility, thoughtful risk, and relentless execution. And we have a chance. This is just to get onto having a chance of succeeding in the cannabis space.